Hey guys. Hello, thank you for joining me if you're already here. I'm just finishing getting set up, letting people get here as always. I did not announce this beforehand, so just waiting for people to arrive. If you're already here, thanks for being early. You're awesome. Feel free to say hi in the chat, give a thumbs up on the video if you want. Always helps me. If you're watching the archive, you can go ahead and skip, 5 or so minutes in until we get going with the actual cello playing. Hey guys. Hello everybody, welcome. I'm gonna wait another minute and let people get here and then we'll get going. Hope you guys are having a great Monday so far. It's actually cloudy here in LA, which is unfortunate. It might be affecting the lighting of the video a little bit, because usually I have a bunch of really great natural sunlight when I do these during the daytime, but it is really cloudy out there today. Hey guys, hello, welcome. I really need to practice, so hey guys, thank you guys for saying hi in the chat. I love when you say hi in the chat. Let me know if the volume isn't great or if you're having trouble hearing me, as you guys know the drill. I'm looking over here because this is where I can see you guys talking to me. Let's make sure my Instagram post works. Everybody, hello and welcome. Oh, cool. Cello Suite Prelude on electric bass. That's cool. Hey, guys. Hello, everybody. Maybe I'll get Rosining. So, hello. Welcome to my practice stream. It's going to be a little dry today because I really need to practice, but still going to talk to you guys as much as I can. It's a little quiet. All right. Let's fix that. Move this microphone a little. Okay. All right. Hi. Wow, 17 people here already. You guys are so great because I know I'm the worst at announcing these beforehand. I pretty much, when I decide I'm going to practice, I'm just like, you know what, I'll just do a live stream and then throw it on. Hey, Boofar, you are like my #1 fan. You are always here. You're awesome. All right, so if you're enjoying the stream, please give me a thumbs up on the video. So what's going on today? Today, I really got to practice. I have an audition next week. Try to not go crazy about the audition. Auditions are just a part of life, so I'm trying to not stress myself out too much. But I really do need to do some real deal practicing. So I'm definitely going to be checking the chat and talking to you guys when I can, answering questions when I can. But it's not going to be like the Q&A streams where I'm able to just kind of sit here and talk to you. I am mostly going to be playing. So it's going to be a little bit more boring, and I mean, maybe not boring. Depends what you find interesting. But I'm going to mostly just be playing. I'm going to do some warm-ups like I always do. So it's going to be more of like a real, actual, just playing and practicing kind of deal today. Because I need it. I really got to do the work. As much as I would love to distract myself and just talk to you guys the whole time, I need to actually practice my cello. So that's the priority today. If you're looking for more like a Q&A type thing, I did do a Q&A live stream earlier this month, and I'm going to start doing just Q&A streams like that more often, so that way I can just really focus on talking to you guys. I don't have to worry about playing and stopping and reading the chat, that kind of thing. So my favorite rosin is Kaplan Dark. Great for gut strings, great for steel strings too. And you guys are going to see my tuner, all the stuff that I always use. There's a link to my Amazon shop, which has all my favorite products, and the steel strings that I use on my modern cello. I'm playing on my Baroque cello today with the gut strings, but if you need a recommendation for steel strings, those are on my Amazon shop also, and just all my products that I like. Okay. Baroque viola is a very hard degree because there's very little solo repertoire for Baroque viola, so you don't really have things to study in lessons. Most people who play Baroque viola in university either double in modern viola or they actually play Baroque violin and Baroque viola. So Baroque viola is usually a doubling instrument. It's not a discipline by itself typically. So if you play violin, great, or if you'd want to play modern viola at the same time, then you can do that. But Baroque viola alone is a little bit too obscure usually to have its own program. I'm auditioning for a group out here, a Baroque orchestra here in Los Angeles. I don't want to make too big of a deal because I don't want people to get invested in me winning the position if I don't win it. There are a lot of great people taking the audition. I'm just taking the audition as a formality to do it. I'm not overly invested in any particular outcome. I'm just doing it because it's a good thing to do. But it's a Baroque orchestra out here in LA. So this bow that I have, this is a professional Baroque bow, so it's not really a student model. It's built by Christopher English. He has a lot of really wonderful bows. This is a African blackwood bow, basic Baroque bow design. And I know they make inexpensive models like at Shar Music, and also Johnson String, I believe, has like a student model, something in the like $200 to $400 range. And those bows can be decent. They're definitely a good starting place. This is more of a professional tier bow. These kinds of bows go for about $1,800, so they're not really entry level bows. Hi, Game Chops. If you guys like video games and video game remixes, definitely check out Game Chops. Unrelated to cello and Baroque music. Okay, so let's get going, guys. I gotta play cello. I know I said that. I really mean it. I have to be disciplined today. Otherwise, I'm gonna ruin my practice by just being on stream and talking to you guys. So, okay. Thank you if you're joining late. I am here to practice. I'm not going to be doing as much Q&A and talking with the chat because I really want to be productive and really practice. As I mentioned, I have an audition next week. But I will be talking about what I'm practicing and how I'm going about it. If you're enjoying the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're really enjoying the video, you can leave me a tip or donation. The link is right down there. The link's also in the description of the video if you just want to click on it. You can donate to the GoFundMe, or if you're really super into my channel, you can consider pledging to my Patreon, which supports all the videos that I put out here on YouTube. Okay. I do play video games, but like not as much. I don't do anything for fun anymore. All I do is work and music, but I do enjoy video games. I grew up playing video games. Classic Nintendo games are kind of like what I was raised on. My favorite current game currently, probably like Animal Crossing. I'm a casual gamer. I like to play games that are chill for the most part. I mean, I'll play some Mario Kart and stuff like that, but nothing too intensive that requires like many hours. I don't have that kind of time. Okay, guys. So I'm going to get going on the practice. Again, I'm going to check in with the chat as much as I can. I'm not going to be able to answer everything today because this really is about practicing today. But if you are super interested in asking me stuff, you can either leave it as a comment when this video gets archived, or just make sure you're subscribed. I go live a lot. Sometimes I do live Q&As, and that's a great time to ask whatever kind of questions you want to ask. Okay. And I'm going to turn this volume down a little because cello is louder than my voice. And if the cello gets too loud or anything like that, you guys just let me know. And you know what? I am going to oil my strings because these have been squeaking and it's driving me nuts, so I can talk to you guys about oiling gut strings. Okay, so if you play on gut strings and they're squeaking and you're in a dry environment, you can take just a little bit of olive oil. I've just got this like olive oil from my kitchen. Paper towel. I think a rag would honestly be better than a paper towel, but this is how I do it. Little dab of olive oil. And then what I do, once I've got it on the towel here, I kind of like, so it's not super wet, just kind of absorb it into the towel, and then just wipe it on the strings, especially the open gut, the top two. Not where the bow goes, don't put it there, but up here on the fingerboard. Just gets a little bit of moisture, especially if the core of the string has gotten dry, because a lot of times that's what's going to cause the squeaking. Hello everybody who's still joining. I'm getting going with practicing. Feel free to say hi in the chat. I will check in with the chat when I can, but I am going to try to actually practice. And I'm being honest with myself, it's a little bit past 3:30 here, so just need to make note of when I'm actually getting going. I'm going to try to move the microphone out of the shot. Good enough. All right, let's get tuned. I'm playing at A 415. It's a half step lower than regular A. The strings sound so good after they're oiled compared to when they're dry like they were before. Doesn't last forever, but it's a good temporary fix. Okay, so I'm going to do my normal warm-up routine. If you've watched any of my videos or my streams before, you probably know my warm-up routine. I go through scales, circle of fifths, starting in C major, only up to 3 sharps and 3 flats, because those are most of the keys that we see in the Baroque period. We don't get into the crazy key signatures as much. So I just focus on up to 3 sharps and 3 flats. I do some variant bowing things, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my scale warm-ups. I think I'm going to start with just a basic legato stroke, and then I might build up to some more complex strokes. But let's keep it easy. I have not played yet today, so as always on these streams, you guys are seeing my raw, real practice. This is not a rehearsed performance. This is the real deal. Thanks for all the love. Don't spam the chat though. But thank you for all the love. I see it. I appreciate it. If you're learning the Vivaldi E minor sonata, I don't know what fingerings you need. I do have some of the movements recorded on my channel though, so you can go look at the fingerings that I'm doing by watching the video. If you're desperate for fingerings. But I also do the more Baroque fingerings, which stay in the lower positions instead of doing some of the higher positions. But yeah, like I said, guys, I'm not going to be answering a ton of questions today on this stream. I'm just focusing on practicing because I need to practice. So I can't help you with everything today. So this bow that I'm playing on is a Baroque bow. That's why it's actually a different shape than the modern bow. Here's my modern bow. Here's my Baroque bow. So you can see the tip is much pointier, the frog is lighter and more simple, and the curve of the bow is different. So I'm basically playing on an instrument that's closer to the instrument that Bach himself would have seen and played on. My cello is also different too. It does not have an end pin. I'm playing on gut strings. My fingerboard is shorter. So I'm basically playing on a historical version of the cello. This cello here is a modern cello like we're used to. But what I'm playing on is a historical cello, similar to the instruments from the Baroque period. And the playing style that I play in is also historical. Okay, where was I? Did I do A major? No, I did D major last. So onwards to A major. On my phone, which is on the floor, and I missed my shift. That's what I get. I gotta stay focused. Cello because I love the Baroque repertoire. That's what I got my master's in. Basically all the music before about 1750, or at least before 1800, is the music that I've studied the most in depth because it's my favorite repertoire from the classical period. The whole classical, I don't mean the specific classical period, I mean all of classical music. And this Baroque instrument really gets us a lot closer to what the composers were actually writing for, because when we take a modern instrument that's been changed and has evolved so much over hundreds of years from when composers like Bach and Vivaldi, Handel, etc. were writing their music, we're not actually working with the same equipment that they were working with when they were writing. So by getting on an instrument that's a little bit closer to the instruments that they were familiar with and learning some of the playing styles from the time period, we actually do a much better job at playing this music because we're sort of seeing it within the context that it existed instead of trying to fit it into a box of later years that came after. Where was I? B flat? Okay, E flat. have an audition in a week. So that's what's motivating me today. Depends on the day. I'm a very goal-oriented person, at least in terms of like short, small level things. I like to always have a project or something that I'm doing. So I have the easiest time practicing when I know what I'm practicing for. It's when there's no goal or nothing in mind that practicing becomes a little harder. Okay, so that was my just plain legato bow stroke. I'm going to move into my long, short stroke, which plenty of you guys have probably seen. It's a great stroke for finger mobility, and you'll notice the way I play on this Baroque bow, I play pinky on top like a violin bow hold, and I have a pronated hand. So the finger movement is super important on the Baroque bow. Because, as you'll notice in my playing, I don't use a lot of vibrato because that wasn't really stylistic for the time. When we want to be expressive in Baroque music, we use the bow. So having really mobile fingers, being able to do a lot of different kinds of articulations, especially using finger movement, is really important in Baroque music. So this next stroke that I'm going to do for my scales is one that really wakes up the fingers and gets them mobile. So I find that it really helps for bow articulations. Boofar, you're the best. Oh, you guys are so nice. Well, I'm sorry that it's not a little bit more entertaining. Like, I'm literally just playing scales, but I'm glad you guys like it. Okay, on to my long, short bow stroke. Scales sound beautiful. If my scales sound beautiful, that's gotta be worth something. So I appreciate that. Okay, that was it on sharps. On to flats with the long, short bow stroke. How many years have I been playing the cello? So my story is a little unusual because I started playing the cello in public school in orchestra class. So I wasn't taking private lessons and I was learning very little. Anyone who's played an instrument at school in a public school district knows that you go and play once a week, but like you kind of don't know what's going on and you're not really getting one-on-one instruction. So technically I started the cello when I was about 8 or 9 years old. So that was 20 years ago. But I wasn't really studying it seriously. I was playing it at school. It was basically gym class. I wasn't really learning the cello so much. But when I was 14, almost 15, I started taking private lessons. And then I got really serious, started practicing like crazy. Within about a year, I was taking auditions for music school, ended up at music school, did my bachelor's degree, then my master's degree. So I got really serious about cello after that point. So then I would put myself more in the 15 years, 13 years, something like that I've been playing for real. And that was modern cello that I was playing at the time. But by my senior year of college, I had already switched over to Baroque cello full time because it really, as soon as I learned about the Baroque instrument, it just clicked with me instantly. There was no question in my mind. So then I did the historical thing. My master's was in early music on the historical cello. So I've been playing Baroque cello. I actually haven't calculated this. Let's see when that was. So 2008, 2009. Wow, that makes it like 10 years on Baroque cello already. 9 years or so. So yeah, this is my home instrument, the Baroque instrument. I do play this modern cello. I teach lessons on this modern cello all the time, but the Baroque cello is really my main instrument. Thank you guys for being so nice about my scales. Can I play a modern concerto on the Baroque cello? No, thank you. I'd prefer not to. I'm just going to be playing solo Bach today and definitely not concertos or anything like that. I'm auditioning for a local group here in Los Angeles that is a period instrument Baroque ensemble. And I don't want to make too big a deal about the actual audition itself because I don't want to get people overly invested in the audition, but I am taking an audition. And thank you guys. And if you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe because I do live streams fairly often. And then when you're subscribed, you should get an email to get alerted when I go live. You can also, of course, follow me on social media everywhere. Emily Plays Cello. I usually tweet out and Instagram right before I go live also. I'm sorry the lighting is like not ideal. I actually have to have an indoor light on today because normally I have so much sun it doesn't matter, but it's cloudy today. Okay. Where was I? What did I just play? I think I'm good on that bow stroke. I want to keep it moving because I want to be playing some real repertoire. I really got to like get down to the nitty gritty of real practice. Of course I can play Twinkle Twinkle. I don't even know why you would request such a thing though. But I can. I can sometimes play the harmony at the same time. Twinkle Twinkle's like the classic thing for all beginners, so. Yeah, no more twinkle though. This is a time for beyond twinkle. So, okay, I did my scales. Maybe I'm going to do some D minor warm-ups because I'm going to be playing, starting with the prelude to the second Bach suite, and then the courant of the first Bach suite. So I think I'm going to get into D minor land for the second suite prelude. So maybe I'll do like some thirds or something, or some sixths. Let's see. I've actually never done... I've done my sixth and thirds practice on stream before, but I've never done it with minor, so I think I'm going to try that out right now. Confused. Yeah, it sounds weird. I'll just leave. I'll end on the D and come back down. This is what happens when I try to do warm-ups I've never done before. I think like half those notes were wrong. Let's just do some D minor. If you haven't watched my video about being the underdog, it's a long video. It's like 20 minutes long or 30 minutes long or something. But I was a super late bloomer. Again, I didn't start taking lessons till I was almost 15 years old. And then I was taking my college auditions when I was, was I 16? Maybe, I think it was it was less than a month after my 17th birthday. So maybe I was 16? Now I'm confusing myself. I just remember that I had only been taking private lessons for like maybe a year and a half when I was taking my college auditions. And then I had to do a lot of catching up in college. Like, I was also behind. And it's not easy. It's not an easy path at all. But it is absolutely possible. Anything is possible when you work hard, especially if you have a good teacher. So I have a whole video on my channel about what my story was like and how hard everything was for me. So, and a lot of people have said it's been really inspiring because it gives them some hope that it can happen even if you haven't been studying forever. So you should definitely check that video out on my channel. Just search, you can search my channel, put like underdog in there because I know that it's in the title somewhere. Or you can just go to my vlog playlist and it should be on there. Tips on playing double stops. Always tune from the bottom note first. Make sure your lower note is in tune. And then once you've gotten that, tune the top note to the lower note. Never be adjusting both notes at the same time because you're going to lose your focal point. So make sure your low note in the double stop is in tune first, then tune your upper note to the lower note. And also bow, really make sure that your bow is perfectly pulling on both strings evenly because we tend to favor one string over the other, and we also tend to overpress because we're like, I'm playing two strings, I need to really push, but you actually don't need to apply any extra pressure to play double stops. It's just the placement of getting the bow in between the two strings. So for example, when I started that double stop, I don't know if you could hear it, I was favoring the G over the C. You could hear the G more. So the goal is find the spot that's perfectly balanced between the two strings. Also make sure your strings are perfectly in tune before you practice double stops. To practice double stops and then realize your strings were out of tune is bad news, so. Okay. I have not played any contemporary music written for period instruments, but I know that a lot of it does exist. Everything I do is pretty much specific to the Baroque period or maybe the early classical. That's just what I do, but there are pieces like that. Okay, so now that I've warmed up a little bit, let's just get into the repertoire because I gotta actually be practicing. So I'm gonna work on the Prelude to the Second Suite. I did a stream of this recently, because this is one of the things I'm preparing for the audition. So you know what? Maybe I'll make my life really scary right now and just play the whole Prelude through, even though all I've done, you guys have seen how much I played today, because I did it on the stream, just some scales. So I haven't touched this Prelude yet today. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm gonna do a full playthrough of the Prelude right now, assess where it's at, see what goes wrong, and then go back to some spots and practice. So let's get into it. Prelude, the whole thing. Good enough. good, some things not so good. Tiring though. Big old prelude. Okay, well yeah, I'm still not like loving my arpeggiation pattern. I could work on that a little bit at the end. I had one A string squeak in the same spot I always get it, so gotta keep working on that. Couple little things. Wasn't musically probably the most compelling thing ever, but that's okay for right now. Right now I'm focused on getting the techniques all there. I do have a recording of this prelude on the channel, and it's actually similar to what I just did. It's one take, it's unedited. I literally just sat down and played it. It has the sheet music in the video. So it should be in my Bach Cello Suite playlist, if I still have that playlist up. So it's not like super polished because it was just a one take recording of it, but I do have it on there. 6 hours. You play trombone for 6 hours a day? That has got to be hard on your embouchure. Imposter syndrome, you know, it affects all of us from time to time, but it's part of the process. Overcoming insecurities is just a part of being a musician. There's no way around it. Nobody has infinite confidence. So you're not alone. It's a process of accepting yourself and being your own biggest cheerleader, and you know, even when you're feeling down on yourself, picking yourself back up and still practicing and still playing. Being a musician is not for the faint of heart. It's definitely an emotional challenge, but we do it because we love it. Yeah, you know, I would love to do something with Tina. Tina and I did talk about it because she got some inspiration from a Bach video that I did, actually. And we both live here in LA, but I think Tina's under some contracts and stuff. She's not able to do collaborations. She's working with Sony and other stuff. So right now, Tina and I cannot do anything together, but maybe someday. Okay, well, I've already exhausted myself. I might work on a couple spots, but I might actually just go to the Courant because this is in okay shape for me. I've already been working on it a lot, and I've performed this prelude multiple times in my life. That's why I chose it for the audition, because I've played it a lot, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. As comfortable as you can be. So, let's see. Let me hit some of the spots that I didn't like. So I'm going to go from the end to the beginning and work on these chord arpeggiations. So if you don't know, what's printed in the manuscript are just chords, which would be played. Just, oops. Why does that sound bad? There we go. So they would just be played as chords. Most of the time when you hear modern cellists play this prelude, you just hear chords. Boring. So I'm doing the arpeggiation pattern, which is likely what they could have done in a historical performance. So, but I'm going to practice a great way, anytime you have a bow pattern that you're kind of working on, take the left hand out and practice it on open strings. So that's what I'm going to do now for my arpeggiation pattern for these chords. It's just kind of work on, and it always feels unnatural how much I have to use my elbow to get this to be clean. If my elbow stays low, it just doesn't sound good. That I think a faster bow speed is a little bit more helpful. Probably wouldn't have noticed that if I did not do it on Open strings first. So now let's get the chords in there. See if I can do that. Oh, and I'm gonna need stretching. Don't forget to stretch, guys, if you play a string instrument. You will hurt yourself if you don't. I hurt myself a lot in high school because I didn't take care of my body and I practiced too hard all the time. Okay, there's our chord. Time to arpeggiate. Yeah, faster bow speed definitely helps. Kind of out of tempo though, so I'm actually going to play the measure before. Yeah, my bow's getting better, my left hand's not great. Okay, that was better. Alright, you guys are saying stuff. Wes, don't be so hard on yourself. It's good that you care so much, but we all have only so much time in the day. You gotta make sure you're taking care of yourself too. Okay, so that's that for that spot that I wanted to hit. Let me go to the left-hand spot where I'm always out of tune. I worked on this on the last stream too. It's a little sequential descending thing, and it just always... I'm going to play it once as is, and then I'm going to work on it. That was better than it's been. It's always that one. This one used to be bad, but I got it better. I want to bring that C sharp out more, but my hand is always so tense from this passage that every time I get to it, I'm like not ready for it. Yeah, I think I need to release the other fingers so that I can really play that C sharp strong. Here's a pro tip. If you want to emphasize something and make it stronger, it's not only about making that note stronger, it's about making the surrounding notes not as strong so that that one comes out more. So actually what I think I need to do is the C natural that comes before the C sharp. I think I've been playing the C natural too loud, and then it becomes harder to play the C sharp as loud as I want. So I think I actually need to be less on the C natural. Let's try it. Okay, that's gonna work. I didn't play that great, but I can already tell that's gonna help. Because, you know, I played this prelude last practice stream, so maybe the courant will be good to do. And then I have excerpts of orchestral music, because they're asking for sight reading too, which will likely be parts from popular Baroque orchestral music. So I have some parts that I printed out also to look at. May or may not do that on this stream, but I do have it. Okay. And I should have eaten before the stream because I'm so hungry now. And I'm sure anyone who's practiced knows what it's like to practice when you're hungry. It's depressing. Hello, welcome. Hi everybody who's tuned in recently. In case you are wondering what's going on, I am practicing for an audition I have coming up. I am playing solo Bach on my Baroque Cello with gut strings and no end pin. So that's what I'm doing. I'm checking out the chat from time to time, but I am trying to focus on practicing. But I do live Q&As sometimes, so if you do have questions, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel and catch a live Q&A another time. Here comes Daisy. Hi, sweetie, did you know? We're doing a live stream. She's eating, but I think she's going to come over. We'll see. Hello. Oh, hello. That's Daisy. This is Daisy. Hello, my sweetie. We all know Daisy is the most important part of everything that happens here on the channel. Yeah. You were sleeping, and then you were like, you know what? I love cello. I got Daisy when she was 3 months old, and she could fit in one hand. And I was preparing for my master's recital at the time. So she got to hear a lot of cello from a very young age. So she's very used to it now, and she likes it. Okay, let me put some papers down for you to sit on. How about this one? Would you like a paper? Okay. She wants to get where the computer is, so we'll see if she annihilates the stream. Okay. What am I doing? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to challenge myself to play this movement through, even though I haven't practiced it yet today. So I'm going to play the Courant from the first cello suite by Bach. Should I do the repeats? No, I'm too hungry. I'm not going to do any repeats. I'm just going to play it straight through. If I crash and burn, I'll know what to practice when I stop. I don't have a video about audition prep, and I've probably answered about it in various Q&A videos because it is something people ask about. And honestly, I was going to talk about audition prep on this stream, but then I just got into practicing and forgot. But I can still talk about that. But let me play this Bach because I can already feel myself fading a little bit because I'm hungry. So let's play this Bach before I expire. Okay, Courant from the first cello suite by J.S. Bach. Not prepared. What tempo am I going to choose? How fast am I going to crucify myself right now? Let's see. If you want to hear Canon in D, I have a recording of it on my channel. So just go to my channel and search for Canon in D, and then you can listen to my recording of it with my friend. Okay. Not too bad, one squeak. Still got one squeak. I don't know if it's my strings. Honestly, my bow really needs a rehair. But I feel like I've just been a squeaking landmine with my cello lately. Yeah, auditions are tough. They really are. They get easier the more you do them sometimes. But all performance stuff just takes practice like anything else. We have to practice our music, but then we have to practice what it's like to perform under pressure. Because, and it's not to say that it like ever goes away. I think many performers, even in the peak of their career, still have quote unquote performance anxiety. Like that's a part of the job when you put a lot of pressure on yourself. So the best thing you can do is get used to it, start doing it more. You can always practice getting yourself nervous too by playing for your friends and family. People who are going to be nice no matter what and are not going to judge you, just to practice getting those nerves out, because it's playing in front of other people that just makes us, makes our heart rate accelerate and gets us all worked up. So the more you can do that and just get used to what it's like to have to survive in the moment, because really what it is, you're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Nobody plays perfectly. Even, I remember seeing Yo-Yo Ma in concert at Carnegie Hall. I was in like the 4th row, and like, he wasn't perfect. Like, I heard some things, like, nobody is perfect, and that's Yo-Yo Ma. So it's not about playing perfectly, it's about dealing when something goes a little bit wrong. Like, if you play a little out of tune, or you miss a shift, or you get a bad sound, like, it's about how quickly can you get your brain out of the accident mindset of, oh my god, I messed up, and back on track of just playing as well as you can. And that's a skill that you can't really force when you're practicing by yourself, because it's all about being under pressure in the moment. So the only way to simulate that and work on that skill is get yourself in a lot of situations where the pressure's on, and then you learn how to adapt and deal by making mistakes in those contexts and figuring out how to survive those mistakes. So it all just takes practice and time and experience. Thank you guys for all your kind words. The Yo-Yo Ma concert was good. That was a long time ago. I mean, I was in high school, so it was definitely like 12 or 15 years ago. And it was the Beethoven trio. I think it was violin, piano, and cello, and orchestra. Triple concerto. Beethoven triple concerto is what the piece was, which was fine. It wasn't like my favorite repertoire of all time, but it was good. And I forget what else was on the program. I know there was a contemporary piece. It was the New York Phil, so they always do like something contemporary also with most programs. So I forget what that was. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see Yo-Yo Ma that close up and like really hear him, because when you're that close, you can absolutely hear like everything that's coming out of their instrument. Okay. Let's see. Am I going on an hour? Probably getting close to an hour. I am so hungry. I knew I was hungry when I started this, but I thought I'd be okay, but now I'm just getting so hungry, so I might actually end the stream soon. The Quran went better than I thought. All of this actually went a little better than I thought, which is good news because the audition is only a week away. So yeah, guys, honestly, I might call it soon because like all I can think about is food. What are you gonna do? So, why don't I actually, did he ever hit other strings? The only thing I remember is that he got some like kind of scratchy sounds, but to be fair, he was playing, it wasn't Carnegie Hall, sorry, because it was the New York Phil, so it was at Lincoln Center. Pretty sure it was at Lincoln Center. But when you're playing in a huge, huge concert hall, you've got to really make sound. So I think because I was in the 4th row, I heard some sounds, but like obviously the people way back are not going to be hearing the same stuff that I'm hearing. Yeah, I may actually wrap up the stream. It's coming up on it. It's been about an hour, so not super long. But we had some good talks. So if you guys want to throw any questions in before I end, I'm going to keep practicing today, but I feel like I need to like stop and eat something, chill out, and then come back to my practice. So I might call it on the stream pretty soon. But if you have any lingering questions you want to ask, please do so. Again, if you enjoyed the stream and you want to give me a donation, it's super appreciated. The link is right down there. It's also in the description of the video. If you want to become a supporter to my channel where I release 4 videos a month, you can join me on Patreon. My patrons on Patreon are the reason I'm able to do YouTube so regularly. They're vital to my channel. And there are perks involved if you join Patreon, like you get audio of certain of my videos that I post, and special messages from me that only the patrons get, stuff like that. Do I think Yo-Yo Ma is the best cellist? Nah, not really, but he's certainly one of the most famous. I'm not really like a fangirl for many things, so like I don't have like idols or anything like that. You know, I respect people, I like people, but not really someone who idealizes other people. Turning the volume up a little there. Okay. College music auditions. That was some of the most interesting times in my life, was doing my college auditions. It was such an adventure, going all around places with my cello and practicing in all the different music schools. I'm nostalgic about that time. But, so the same advice applies that I said before of definitely practice getting nervous. Play for as many people as possible. What was nice is my orchestra director in high school let everybody who was taking a college audition play their repertoire for the whole class, like the whole orchestra class, just to get practice performing. So play in as many circumstances as you can for other people before your audition. So by the time the audition comes around, you've already practiced doing those playthroughs and those run-throughs. So that would be my biggest tip. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Wes. Right. The stream felt fast because I know some of the other ones I've done have been much longer, dragging on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, so. So the audition, the group is called Musica Angelica. I didn't want to like make a big deal out of what I'm auditioning for, but they are, you know, one of the only period instrument groups here in Los Angeles. But lots of people are taking this audition. In fact, a lot of my friends and colleagues are taking the auditions, so whoever wins it, I'm very happy for. I'm not freaking out about winning this audition. I'm just doing it for the experience. If one of my friends gets it, I'll be happy for them. So that's what's going on. Okay, thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. It feels like it was a fast stream, but you know, we got some scales and some warm-ups and some Bach, so what more do you need, really? Thank you guys for joining. I think this was the last. I gotta do another recorded video soon because I did a lot of live streams this month. Did I do 2 practice sessions and a Q&A, and then I had a collaborator video on viola da gamba, which you guys should totally check out if you haven't watched yet. But I didn't do any recorded videos this month, so I'm probably due for an actual recorded video sometime soon. But I'll always do at least 1 live stream a month, if not more, because I'm loving them. So thanks again, you guys. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't yet. If you want to consider giving a donation, there's the link. Yeah, I guess I gotta come over here to turn the stream off anyway. I know I'm gonna get more quiet with the microphone over there. Alright guys, enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I will see you next time.